Okay, first actual vlog of 2026. My other one ended on 2026, but this is my first one for actual 2026, which means I need to get my January reads out of the way and hopefully get this out in January. I've got most of the month to get through everything I need to read. This month and like a lot of consecutive months I already know are going to be pretty chaotic. So here's hoping this doesn't take forever. For this vlog, I'm going to be reading something that I feel like is going to be 5 stars. There's a school setting, but like I love school settings. I don't know why. I do know why I love a school setting, but we're not going to talk about that. So the overall vibes for this vlog are the book I need to read in January, which I picked from my bubblegum TBR machine. Don't know what happened there, which I will link down below if you want to see that. And then my 2 Buzzwordathon books I have to read, and one of my 26 and 2026 books, which I will also link down below if you're interested. And then like the book I'm most excited for. So from my 26 and 2026, I need to read The Jewels of Elvish by Nancy V. Berberick, which I got from my favorite used bookstore, the Book Rescuers in St. Pete. I get so many books from there. I got more books from there, but you don't need to worry about that right now. But from what I understand about this one, it's about a Elvish lady marrying they call them Manish. And then there's like jewels or something, ancient magic. Struggles to make both her marriage and alliance a reality. But when the ruby is, so she comes in with this ruby, which is like powerful magic to her family. Someone is yelling outside. Okay. Don't know what that was about. And I guess it gets stolen by somebody. I'm guessing this evil magic user who, they steal the ruby, something happens. I don't know. There's a marriage happening. It's an old book with a cover I like. Although this looks very 80s. When was this published? Oh, 1989. Yep, 80s. And then for my 2 Buzzwordathon books, I'm going to do Invisible Monsters for the like internal body parts one. And I had trouble with the before and the after one because originally I was thinking about reading Before and After by this person, but then I heard some things about it. From what I understand, it's basically like a book about a guy who goes through like an apocalypse, but only survives this apocalypse by losing weight, which not a big fan of that. And then the author has also written weight loss books, which just kind of throws another wrench into I don't want to involve myself with that. So that one I'm not going to do. Instead, I'm going to read Time After Time by Mikki Daughtry, which, you know, time travel, lesbians. It's Life is Strange. Life is Strange is one of my favorite video games. I am obsessed with Life is Strange. Have I played any of the other Life is Strange games? No. Oh, but the first Life is Strange. I love time travel. I don't know if it's actually time travel, but it's lesbians. I'll take it. Oh, wait, sorry. This is not my 26 and 2026. This is from my Gumball TBR machines. And then for my 26 and 2026, I'm going to read A Short Stay in Hell by Stephen L. Peck, which I know nothing about, but I've seen it recommended, so. And then the one I'm most excited about and terrified and just all the feelings and the worries, The Will of the Many by James, Islington, which I think is going to be a 5-star, if not like an ultimate favorite, but very easily could not be. I know there's a school setting. I know there's deception. I know there's some sort of twist in it somewhere. Oh, I don't know where any of the twists are going to be, but I kind of want to catch my reaction on camera. So that means I'm going to be recording every single chapter. You will not see me reading every single chapter, but you will see the clips of me reacting. So it's a lot of footage coming. Okay. No, I don't think I can look up when the twists are because then I might get spoiled, and I do not want to get spoiled. Okay, anyway, you don't have to change my life. I'm not expecting that. It's been a long time since I've read a book that changed my life. And by changed my life, I just mean like made me feel something. But I did buy this, which means I have high hopes for it. I bought this brand new. But that's what we're looking at for this vlog. So I'm going to start with Jewels of Elvish, knock this out, hopefully relatively fast. And we'll see how I feel after it and see what we get to next. So I am 178 pages into The Jewels of Elvish, and we have just mentioned the whole Ruby situation that is talked about in the back. That's halfway through the book. What has happened up until then? Definitely some stuff has happened. Maybe the second half will pick up a lot, but it's definitely a very slow going fantasy for how much, I mean, it's only like a 340 page book. It reminds me a lot of The Winter Queen by Devin, Cary, where there's a little bit of magic. It's kind of hidden. It's not really hidden, but the main characters in both of them aren't really encouraged to show their magic, except in certain situations. And it's just very slow. I think The Winter Queen is more political than this is. This is more focused on like her marriage and her life with the other people within the court. But it's still not a whole lot happening, considering I'm halfway through the books. I mean, there has been some things happening. I don't know how to explain. It's like we glossed over getting there, but then once we were there, it happened. But like there were other things happening at the same time that didn't really, they still felt slow, I guess. It's not bad. The writing is very easy to read. The plot. I'm not a huge fan. I don't know what it is with the older books, but the women are always 17 and they're always sexualized. At 17, I wasn't born back then. Maybe that was just like, that was just like accepted at the time, that we were looking at 17-year-olds like full-grown women when they were still minors. I don't know. Not a big fan of that. Not the first time I've encountered it. Well, no, actually, when they mention that whole situation, it's very early on, but I don't want to go too deep into it. When they mention that whole situation, they do imply that she's still childish in some senses, and the other person involved had inclinations towards another child. So maybe that's just like a, well, no, because she's still getting married and other things at 17. So I don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna finish that up. I think I might interject. I think I'm gonna read A Short Stay in Hell in between this and see how that goes. Just as like a little break from this. I gotta back up a second. I'm doing things out of order. I forgot to update when I finished The Jewels of Elvish and A Short Stay in Hell. Like, I just completely forgot. So The Jewels of Elvish got 3 stars. It did pick up in that second half, like really pick up in that second half. And it did some things that were pretty intriguing. Things I've seen before, but in later works. But it definitely went from, you know, living everyday life in a castle to fleeing said castle and doing some other things that actually have to do with the gemstone and getting the gemstone back, like it says on the back of the book. It took a while to get there, but we got there. And then a number of other things that I was kind of surprised happened, considering how tame, I guess, the book was in the first place. Very easy to read and follow what was going on. The reason it got a 2.5 is just because of the way it was kind of strange how it went from 0 to 100 like halfway through. I would read something else from Nancy B. Berberick. Yeah. I've never heard of the Dragonlance series, but I think I'd give that a try. A Short Stay in Hell got 3 stars. In it, you're following a Mormon man who has been sentenced to hell after dying of cancer. And he's sentenced specifically to a kind of hell that is modeled after, oh shoot, was it the Tower of Babel, the Library of Babel, something Babel. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it's modeled after that. In it, every book that ever could exist does exist. And the people who are sentenced to this hell have to find a section of their story from these books in order to get out. The problem is that every book ever exists because it's every single way a letter / punctuation / you know, etc. could exist in every single iteration, every single combination, up to a certain point of, I don't remember how many words it was. And these people spend centuries looking for a piece of their story in order to get out. And it kind of goes how you would expect it to go if you were forced to spend centuries looking for any kind of, you know, word that you understand, even a sentence. They were usually finding like maybe 3 words that actually made any coherent sense, and then they'd just get so excited about it. It was definitely interesting. It was a little too open-ended, but yeah, as a short story goes, it got a 3 from me. And then the real thing I got behind on with updates is I started Will of the Many, and I'm actually 9 chapters in at this point, so I am very behind on what I was supposed to be updating. I'm in school currently again, and it's just throwing a wrench into things, so I'm going to be very scatterbrained for the foreseeable future. Following this, I'm also going to pick up Time After Time, which I will be reading in between. I don't know really what it's about, so I'll get back to you on that at a later date. Even darker on camera. Wow. Okay. This has nothing to do with books, but, you know, showing up like this. I decided I want to grow my hair out, and the last time I grew my hair out was during lockdown. So I'm growing my hair out lockdown style because that's like the only way that I know. And while I decided I wanted to grow my hair out, when I was growing my hair out because of lockdown, I had black hair at the time. So maybe like a nostalgic factor had something to do with it. But my mind went, grow out hair, dye hair darker. I didn't want to dye it black this time though. I wanted to dye it like a dark brown or something. Except I can't read. And instead of getting dark brown, I got darkest brown. Anyway, jump scare. Okay, now updates. I was supposed to update about Time After Time by Mikki Daughtry. However, I stopped reading them about 2 chapters in because I decided it's not what I'm looking for. I can already tell it's not for me. Which also means I had to find a different book for the Buzzword-a-thon challenge because the word is after or before. And this is the second book I've decided not to read for the challenge. So the only other book I can think of without reading, what is it called? Me Before You, which I'm going to be reading later on in the year. I decided I'm going to read Before the Coffee Gets Cold instead. Even though I think this is supposed to be really sad and I didn't really want to start my year off with a really sad book. I'm gonna do it anyway. Maybe it'll be fine. Maybe it'll be fine. Maybe everything will be fine. And then my other update, I'm about a quarter of the way into Will of the Many, and nothing's really grabbed me yet. It's interesting, and I really like the world building and the way things operate in the world whose name is escaping me again. Catanan. The Catanan, is it Catanan or Catanan? Republic. So far, everything about that is interesting. I'm interested in that aspect of it. I'm interested enough to keep going, but at the moment, I'm more like along for the ride than I am necessarily engaged with the plot. Like, I'm not sitting here like, oh, what's going to happen next? I'm more like, okay, what's going to happen next? Well, that's not necessarily true, actually, because I am very interested in the little bits that they're feeding us about what happened before the cataclysm. They keep talking about like this mysterious existence before the cataclysm, and that they got all this like technology and stuff from whoever existed before the cataclysm. But we're just getting like little bits of it here and there, and I want more of that. So I guess I am technically reading, hoping for more of that. But aside from that, I'm just kind of like, okay, where are we going next? What the fuck? What? Wait a minute. I'm on what chapter am I on? 10, 20, 30, 5, 6, 37? Oh, my head hurts all of a sudden. Wait, okay. Oh, no. What was her name? I'm probably gonna cut all of that out if that's a spoiler. Shoot. Okay, well. I knew it. Okay. Well, I'm gonna stop there. I'm on chapter, oh God, 1, 2, 3. I'm on 38. But I'm gonna pause for a second so I can update how this is going and the other reading updates I have. So 1 second. Will of the Many is going. I was pretty settled. I mean, I'll gauge my rating as I'm going. And then, you know, whatever I end up at the end, I end up with at the end. This was feeling like a 3 pretty solidly until recently. The part when Viz goes exploring, wink wink, is when it started to shift into a 4 for me. I don't know if this is going to be a 5. I don't think this is going to fix me. I don't think this is going to be the book to make me a changed person. But I think it might end up settling on a 4. We're gonna see. Chad, that twist I just read just unlocked some things in my head that I need to think about concerning what happened previously. Now that I know, I've connected the dots. I need to like rethink certain things, but this is feeling closer to a 4 now. I will be very surprised if it ends up being a 5. It's really going to have to wow me in the later bits. I'm enjoying myself. It feels like I'm taking a decade to read this though. What is that, like halfway? A little more than halfway? It has taken me forever to read this. The font is also smaller than I was anticipating, so this is just rough, but I can't get a digital version of it because the hold on my Libby is insanely long. So no digital version for me if I want to finish it, you know, within the week. I did start, well, I kind of started, I'm going to actually go back and reread that first chapter, but I started Invisible Monsters by Chuck, hold on, let me see if I can look up how to say that properly, because I have 2 phones now. Palahniuk, okay, so Chuck Palahniuk. So Invisible Monsters by Chuck Palahniuk. I've started this too, but I've only gotten 1 chapter in, and I want to reread that chapter because it threw me into the deep end and said, swim, bitch. In that first chapter, we started with, I guess, a wedding, but the bride's dress is burned off. It's gone, basically. She's got a rifle in her hands. She shot another lady bleeding out on the ground, and then the main character is talking about how I think that she doesn't really care. She would care if she was in a modeling situation because she's a model, and the director was saying, give me sympathy, and she'd be like, I'd give you so much sympathy, but she doesn't really care right now. And I guess because her name is Brandy, she's bleeding out on the floor because Brandy is like, hey, give me the life story, give me it all. I need to know everything right before I die. I want my story before I die. The main character, whose name I don't think they said what her name is. The one who shot her was Evie, I think. And I'm assuming it's Evie's wedding. Also, the house is burning down. This is all in the first chapter. Did they say what her name is? Brandy, Evie, I don't think they say what her name is. Yeah, anyway, so that was like an entire fever dream. And I'm guessing since that first chapter is Brandy asking for everything to be replayed to her, we're going to get the rest of the story replayed to us as Brandy is dying. It'd probably help if I read the back. Wait a minute. She's a fashion model who has everything: a boyfriend, a career, a loyal best friend. But when a sudden freeway quote-unquote accident leaves her disfigured and incapable of speech. Wait, what? She goes from being the beautiful center of attention to being an invisible monster, so hideous that no one will acknowledge she exists. Wait a minute. So if this is the after, and Brandy is asking her to give the story, and she can't speak. What? I'm gonna reread that first chapter, but that was very intriguing. I am very interested in where this is gonna go. All right. And then on a not so great note, I finished Before the Coffee Gets Cold, and I didn't like it at all. Like, not even a little bit. Okay, plot was intriguing. I thought that was a really cool idea, where you can sit in this seat in a cafe and go back to a point in time where you and this other person had been in the cafe before. So you can like get your final word in before everything happens. However, whatever happens doesn't change the present. At least it doesn't change the present up to the point where you are currently, right? And you have as long as it takes for a cup of coffee to get cold to do this. Makes sense. Before the coffee gets cold. The execution, I didn't like the execution. I didn't like the way the female characters were written at all. Every single time we got a female character on screen, we got a little description of her outfit. I feel like maybe I missed it. Someone mentioned to me that they did say at one point what one of the males was wearing, but I feel like it was like constant with the women. We were getting their outfits, but we weren't really getting that with the men. And admittedly, there weren't very many men in this story, and if there were, it was very self-serving to the male characters. I don't think self-serving is the right word. A lot of the things the women were doing were for the sake of the men in the story. I wasn't a huge fan. And then the ending, it was like a 2, maybe a 2.5 up until there, because I appreciated the execution of it, but then we got to the final story, and I went, absolutely not. So 1 star from me. Will not be finishing that series. But that was my buzzword-a-thon. Oh yeah, this is my other buzzword-a-thon prompt book, for the internal body parts, I think it is. And then the other one was before and after, and I went with Before the Coffee Gets Cold. So we got my first 1 star of the year. Many more to come, probably. My first 5 star of the year might be very far off. So I have got maybe 100 pages. Actually, I think it's a little bit less than 100 pages, because I'm on 5, 6, 7, 68, which is 625 pages into the book, and from Goodreads data it says it is 707 pages. So I've got about 100 pages left. Here comes Harley. So I have about 100 pages left, and I figured I'd just sit here and blast through the last bit and see how I feel. So I'll just sit here and read through it. Oh, I'm not like a super fast reader, but I think I could get this done probably in like an hour, give or take. All right, let's see. Belly was missing a finger. This is so suspicious. Oh, man. It was some kind of rot? Okay. Okay. What? Okay, wait, what's good? I'm confused. Okay. Finish the rest in a second. Hold on. Where? No. Wait, what do you mean? What? Oh, there is a glossary. Okay. I'm so confused. So... Wait. No, also his left arm. What? Okay. 4 stars. Might be 5 stars on a reread. My head hurts. Okay, anyway. 4 stars. This, it had me for a minute there. It was 3 stars up until like a certain point. And all I'm gonna say is we're finally being hate crimed. That's what got me. It's a 4 star. And then something else happened that also made it like 4 stars. But this threw me through a loop. Oh my god. It's been upside down this entire time. It threw me. I don't even know if I want to say anything about what this is about because I feel like going in blind is like the perfect method because I went in completely blind. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. Wow. Just all you need to know is that there is a main character. She gets in an accident. Half of her jaw just is gone. And she meets somebody named Brandy Alexander. And you're going through both of their lives because it starts off with Brandy asking the main character to, you know, give her life story, even though the main character can't speak because she's missing half of her jaw. It is just a roller coaster of a book. And it was really good. I need to read more from Chuck Palahniuk. Maybe not Fight Club. I think I want to read Choke next when I get around to reading more from him. But this, wow, that took me through a ride. Similar vein. This was a 3 up until, I don't know when it became a 4. I was almost tempted to give it like a 3.75, but again, Pagebound is my favorite book platform at the moment, and you can't do 0.75 on Pagebound, and I didn't want to give it a 3.5 because that's not high enough, so I gave it 4. I feel like maybe it is a 3.75, but those last couple chapters, was the chapters, it wasn't the pages, it was like, I'm good, those last bits were kind of a fever dream. What do you mean at the end? Like, you didn't tell us anything. Didn't answer a single question, gave me so many more questions. I'm so confused. And I need to know more. This reminded me, and I can't really like connect the similarities in my brain at the moment, but this reminded me a lot of Brandon Sanderson's fantasy. I don't know if it's maybe like the writing style or the way the worlds are built. Something about it. It was very much, it like planted little twists throughout that like culminated at the very end, whereas Brandon Sanderson is kind of like drag, tiny twist, drag, big explosion. At least where I am. I'm not very far into the Sanderson universe yet. This reminded me a lot of Brandon Sanderson. 4 stars. I will be reading the next one. And with those done, that does mean it's time for a wrap up. I just have to actually find the page. I need to clean this up. I get these little notebooks so I can just like tear the pages out as I don't need them anymore and I don't have to feel bad about it. Okay. Wow, that feels like forever ago. I guess it wasn't. So we've got a 2.5 star, a 4 star, a 3 star, another 4 star, a DNF, and a 1 star, which is not bad. I got 2 4 stars in one reading vlog. That's pretty good. But that's it for this one. The next one I'm going to be reading only off my TBR shelves. I'm just going to go through my bubblegum pulls and see what I get. So that's it for this one. Bye.